Good evening and welcome in to the virtual Talladega Superspeedway for the regular season finale of Ron Morris Racing Tuesday Night Thunder season number 4. My name is Dawson Wise. You're watching live tonight on PGR eSports. Glad to be bringing you the 12th regular season race for Ron Morris Racing's Tuesday Night Thunder. The regular season finale is upon us. It's been a long season full of twists and turns. This season has found itself all over the place. And tonight we bring it to its stunning conclusion as we set our 16-car playoff field. Plenty to go through in terms of points. We've got about 2 minutes until the drivers take to the grid. We're going to try to get you through as much of this as we can before the race so you have an idea of exactly what we're looking at going into tonight's race. So, the first and foremost battle is the battle for the regular season championship. Matthew Baker in the 5 of NBG Motorsports. He holds the points lead. It is a commanding 28-point lead over Garrett Maines in second coming into tonight's race. So a lot's got to happen here for Garrett to be able to pull that back. Got to get stage points. Hope he can get some extra bonus points. We'll talk about that in a minute. And he will be able to bring that one back. But a commanding lead right now for Matthew Baker. Then we got to talk about the cut line, and we'll talk about that here briefly. Here are the here's the playoff grid first. The drivers locked in on points as of right now. Matthew Baker with 3 wins, Garrett Maines with a win, Matt Lee has 2 wins, Jeff Merck has a win, JR Miller has a win, and Logan York has a win as well. 6 drivers locked in as of tonight based on a virtue of a win. Again, Matthew Baker, Garrett Maines, Matt Lee, Jeff Merck, JR Miller, and Logan York. Then we have the drivers who are comfortably inside the cut line. They are the following: Chris McCullough, 92 points above the cut. Michael Triscaro, 71 points above the cut. Brock Westmoreland is 56 points above the cut, with Jason Maines 55 above and Kenny McCullough 52 above. Then you have Trevor Osbornoff. He is 47 above in 12th. Jared Haynes 35 above in 13th. And Andrew Navarro 32 above in 14th position. Those are the drivers pretty comfortably in the point standings. Then you have the cut, and here it is. Nash Brambilla is 1 point above Mike Davenport, who is the cut line driver as of right now. William Schwindenhammer is 10 points back of Davenport in 17th. Mark Vondell is 17 points back in 18th. And then you have 4 more drivers below them within striking distance. David Sheets, 24 below. John Mullahan, 36. Tucker McClendon at 39. And Tony Cox at 42. I believe all of those drivers, if I'm not mistaken, are in the field tonight, and it makes for an incredible show. You will not want to miss a moment of this one. We'll get you on the starting grid in a moment, but do want to cover really quickly the bonus point opportunities in tonight's race. So for the poll, for example, so Garrett Maines has pulled the lead back from 28 to 26. That's 2 bonus points for Garrett Maines. So for Garrett, that'll be a 26-point deficit now. Again, the stage points: 5 for first, 4 for second, 3 for third, 2 for fourth, and 1 for fifth. If you lead a lap, you get a point. If you lead the most laps, you get 2 points. We won't know the leading the most laps until the end of tonight's race. It's likely to be one of those guys that's already pretty well locked in, regardless of the circumstances. Field is getting on the speedway. We're getting ready to go. It's awfully dark at Talladega Superspeedway, some cloud cover, but nonetheless, we're going to get it rolling either way, and we'll get you rolling the only way we know how, and that's with the starting grid for the regular season finale of Tuesday Night Thunder. On the pole is the man chasing Matthew Baker for the regular season championship. It is Garrett Maines, the driver for the NASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series. He finished up racing at Darlington earlier tonight. He now comes to the grid in Tuesday Night Thunder to complete his version of the double, if you will, here tonight on a Tuesday. Andrew Navarro to his outside in the 44, well above the cut line, looking for a good run to end off his regular season. Row 2, Cody Nagels makes an appearance tonight in the 6. I don't believe he's going to be eligible for the playoffs, but he is here nonetheless. John Mullahan in the 2. He needs a good run tonight, could use a victory to lock himself in. He'll start 4th. Row 3, the points leader, Matthew Baker in the 5, looking to solidify another regular season title. And Jason Maines in the 12. Pretty stress-free night for him, although we'll still want to mind his P's and Q's and get himself a good finish. Row 4, it'll be a pair of teammates, if you will, tonight. Jeff Merck for NBG in the 60s, locked in on a win, and Michael Triscaro is well above the cut line, looking to finish off his regular season strong as well. He'll start from 8th. And row 5, it'll be the 2-time winner this season, Matt Lee. He's locked in to his outside the 82, the Podium 500 winner, Kyler Wynn. Going back a little bit further, starting in the 11th position will be KSR's Trevor Osbornoff. Again, a guy closer to the cut line, but a guy that still is well above. He's looking very strong going into this race. And then to his outside, the winner, J.R. Miller. He's locked in by virtue of his win earlier in the season. Row 7, Mark Math in the 199. He could use a good run tonight. And alongside him, it's KSR's Joe Huerta. Row 8, Mike Davenport for Team PGR is the driver on the cut line tonight. It'll be one of the drivers we are focused on throughout the course of tonight's race. And 16th, Mark Vondell in the 59 for McCullough Motorsports. Row 9, it'll be the pair of teammates Jared Haynes in the 7 above the cut line. William Schwindenhammer 10 points below it. They're going to have to both have good runs tonight to solidify their playoff spots. Rounding out the top 20, Dylan Jones in the 11, another guy that could win and kind of screw this whole thing up. And Logan York in the 02. He's locked in by virtue of his win earlier in the season as well. Row 11, Brock Westmoreland. He's above the cut line by 56 points. Could use a good run to end his season tonight. And Chris McCullough in the 04. He'll start from the 12th position. A guy 92 points above the cut line that is pretty well safe, just showing up to show up here tonight to end his regular season. Row 12, Kenny McCullough is 52 points above the cut line. He looks to solidify his regular season. Tucker McClendon is one of those guys down below the cut line, 39 points below the line for the 27, looking to win his way in and shake up the playoff field. And on the final row tonight, it is Jimmy Emos in the 67. Made some money in last week's Thursday night PGR race. What can he do tonight? And Ash Brambilla for PGR rounds out a 26-car grid. The grid is set. We are ready to go racing. It's the regular season finale. It's a big night here in Ron Morris Racing's Tuesday Night Thunder. I'm so glad you've decided to join me. We'll keep up on all the point scenarios throughout the night and try to keep the points as live as possible for you and try to just keep an idea of who's leading laps, who's where, and how this is going to pan out. So much on the line tonight. If you want to make the playoffs and you're not in that top 16, you got to win tonight or point your way in. It's going to be a fun one. Thanks for coming out. Garrett Maines brings the field into the trial for the first time. These guys are rearing to go, and we're going to let them loose here at Talladega. Into the Geico restart zone for the first time. Green flag is out to the banking in turn 1. We are racing in Tuesday Night Thunder. Lap 1 going to be complete, and look up on the outside. It's the Blue Angels Navy Chevrolet of Jeff Merck. He leads the outside lane early and often, and here comes Michael Triscaro along with him. They've got Trevin Oswornoth on the outside, and his teammate Joe Huerta is coming forward, as well as Mark Vondell, one of our focus drivers tonight. That gray, black, and yellow 59 is one of our focus guys. Matt Lee just made a heck of a save on the apron. I have no idea how he kept that car straight. He'll blend to the back, but he'll likely lose the draft. Another car back there lose the draft. I believe that's Jimmy Emos. Top to bottom, Jeff Merck to the point in turns 3 and 4. It's now Triscaro, Oswornoth, Huerta on top. Navarro, Mullahan, Jason Maines, Kyler Wynn in the middle as he jumps to bail to the top. And on the bottom now, Merck, Garrett Maines, Cody Nagels, Matthew Baker, and Mark Math further back looming. Kyler Wynn's joined the outside line, 4 cars deep. Lap 2 complete, lap 3 on the board. Remember, a stage break at lap 20. The conclusion of lap 20 will pay some extra points. Keep an eye on some of these guys. Again, guys like Navarro, they're pretty safe. Jeff Merck is safe. So is Garrett Maines. Michael Triscaro is 71 points above the cut. He's pretty well safe as well. The guys to watch in this group, John Mullahan in the 2. In the 2 on your timing and scoring, and on the car tonight. Actually, yes, it is a 2 on the car tonight. So John Mullahan, one of the guys that's 30-plus points below the cut. He needs to win, essentially. With only about a 26-car field, I think he's in a must-win scenario here tonight. So watch for the 2 of John Mullahan. He's already second on the outside and working his way forward. He's one of the guys to focus on in tonight's field. Another guy to focus on would be a guy like Trevor Oswornoth, perhaps Mark Math, the 199. And some guys further back. William Schwindenhammer currently towards the tail end of this lead draft. He's a guy that also needs to win. Mike Davenport's the guy on the cut line. He could use a good finish as well, though if it ended right here, I believe he would still make the playoffs by virtue of his gap currently over the rest of the field. Up front, Merck, Maines, Navarro, Nagels, Mullahan. And now Baker dives to the outside. He's got Triscaro, Oswornoth, Kyler Wynn, and Chris McCullough, who's also coming to the front. Chris has come on strong here late in this regular season to really establish himself as a championship contender in this series, a multi-time stage winner this season. Has yet to find victory lane at the end of the night, but he may be saving it for the exact right moment. Here comes the points leader. He's to the right elbow of his NBG teammate, Jeff Merck. He'll have the point or close by the time they climb the banking again here in 1 and 2. 3 by 3, 5 rows deep. As these guys are packed tightly up here, and you see a couple guys starting to back out. One of them is Mike Davenport. You see him back away from the lead draft. Same with Tucker McClendon. Same with Jared Haynes. Guys that are a little bit closer to the cut line that really can't risk having a bad run tonight. They're backing out. The smart way to go. Just riding, saving their cars, biding their time, and trying to maximize their points output. Matthew Baker to the point. He wants to lead. He'll take it in front of his teammate. He may get all the way down in front of Garrett Maines by the time the field once again sees the start-finish line. Off turn number 4, still 3 by 3, only 4 rows deep now as Baker bailed to the middle. Logan York has entered the picture in the middle in that white, green, and pink 0-2, or purple 0-2. Baker almost gets turned on the bumper of Merck. They're going to stack up and go 4 wide. Navarro in the second lane, still 4 wide as Mark Math forces a path on the bottom side. Still 4, and now they settle it back to 3. Big save by Matthew Baker, and that was very crucial because... well, for 2 reasons. Number 1, it saved Matthew Baker's race most likely, and number 2, it allowed Garrett Maines to once again take the point. He continues to lead. Oswornoth now leads the top. Oswornoth, Wynn, McCullough, and Logan York coming in tow now as he joins the top lineup alongside those 3. It's Garrett Maines on the point. It's Cody Nagels on the bottom side. And it is Michael Triscaro in the middle of the racetrack with Garrett Maines. Jason Maines on the bottom. John Mullahan lurking as well. Joe Huerta, J.R. Miller have entered the party. Further back, Dylan Jones is trying to come forward as well as William Schwindenhammer. Mike Davenport looming as well. Still 3 by 3, 4 rows deep, but that top lane is starting to fade. It's now Triscaro that inherits the lead in the middle lane as Garrett Maines drops down across the nose of the Friend Real Estate Extra Life Chevrolet of Cody Nagels. Cody, along with Matt Lee and Vicente Guerrero, competing in tomorrow night's CRA Omega Cup Summer Bowl. And the next gen's at Iowa, so we wish them the best of luck there. I believe those are at least 3. We may have more. Those are the 3 I know of that are going to be in tomorrow night's field. Triscaro, Maines still on the front run. The third lane is faded about 6 cars back, in line. As Oswornoth, York, and Wynn are going to have to dive in and be content. Man, this end of the racetrack is almost dark. Look at the cloud cover down on this end of the racetrack. Borderline dark, and that does kind of mess with your vision a little bit depending on what you have your graphics settings set to. It can really mess with your vision when you come out from the clouds and into the sun down the back straightaway because the way we usually have it, the sun is up off turn number 4 by the time these guys come back around, depending on how low the sun is. Let's see right here when they come through the corner where that sun ends up. See him come out the corner. It's usually down here off the exit of turn number 4. It sets down behind the grandstands. So it can really mess with your vision when you drive back into cloud cover and then back out into the sunshine. Merck, Navarro, Oswornoth top side. Baker going to take it as well. Triscaro going to have to remain in line. Wait for a push here from Joe Huerta. The Hyper Ice Supra has made his way through the middle of the pack, and now he's the lead pusher in the middle, taking advantage of the real estate that these guys are giving him. Logan York in behind them, trying to stall out that top lane, led by the points leader, Matthew Baker, the Coasting Thunder Chevrolet. On the bottom side, it's still Garrett Maines with Cody Nagels, Jason Maines, John Mullahan, and Mark Math in line. Baker gets the point. I don't know if he'll get all the way clear. He will not. It'll be awfully close here into 3, but he will remain stuck against the safer barrier with the help of Jeff Merck. Tucker McClendon starting to work his way up. So is William Schwindenhammer. And like I mentioned, Dylan Jones as well. A couple cars have lost the draft. Matt Lee had that problem on the first lap. 4 wide. Here come Navarro and Kyler Wynn. They're the first ones to go all the way to the safer barrier and hang out. Matthew Baker and Jeff Merck. It'll settle back down to 3 wide as the field enters turn number 1. But a moment of 4 wide. They'll stay up top, do Navarro and win. Now Baker jumps back out. So too does Trevor Osbornoff. You heard the middle lane and re-inherit the point. It'll allow Cody Nagels to drive to the inside. He'll lead once again. And Osbornoff now has a bit of a head of steam up on the top side. It's the KSR Chevrolet, although tonight representing the Jack Shack. And the 89 trying to bring a trophy back to the Shack tonight. You heard him talking, like I was saying last week, about wanting to win this race. About wanting to go out this week and win. He said, podiums are great, but they're not wins. You want to come out and win this race on a weekly basis, and for a guy without a win, you obviously want to go to victory lane, get your momentum moving the right direction. Logan York back out to the wall. I believe he's going to go all the way back. They're going to split him out 4 wide. Osbornoff with Kyler Wynn in behind him. Navarro jumps back in line. Now Trescaro's out of line again, looking for some real estate, looking for some drafting help. Again, a pit stop coming up here in the next 4 laps or so. These guys are not racing like a pit stop's coming up. The guys are about 12th on back are. But these guys up front, about these top 10, 11 cars, are just not racing like a pit stop could happen at any moment. Trescaro, Nagels, Mains, elbow to elbow, 3 deep, 4 rows here at the front of the field. And here are the rows. Trescaro, Osbornoff, Wynn, Navarro up top. It's Nagels, Garrett Mains, Matthew Baker, Joe Huerta in the middle. And bottom side, Jason Mains, John Mullahan, Mark Math Williams, Schwindenhammer. And Chris McCullough has joined the party to make it a 13-car race here at the front of the field in this lead draft that are really involved in the race. Although Chris now backs up a little bit. Nagels, Trescaro are going to battle for the lead. Cody goes to the bottom, and Mike, oh man, I think he had it. He goes back up. I thought he had it clear across Garrett Mains, but that middle lane is so disconnected right now that this top lane should still roll. Let's see if they can roll it here down the Alabama Gang super stretch. Michael Trescaro and Trevor Osbornoff, but now they've lost their help. Their help dives back in line, and now they will start to move backwards with pit stops coming up any moment. Nagels, Mains, still flanking each other here for the race lead. It's Jason Mains that has pulled through down to the second position on the bottom side, and Baker has match played Garrett so far, and that's all he needs to do tonight to lock up another regular season championship. With a stage coming up, we'll keep an eye on our target drivers, namely John Mullahan right now, as to how many points they can gain, although William Schwindenhammer is starting to make his way into the picture as well. 14 on the board, almost a quarter of the way through the regular season finale, and everything is so far so good, about as we expected. Hard racing, but clean racing. And now they dip out again. Here come Navarro and Kyler Wynn. They're going to jump out from behind Joe Huerta. Trying to take advantage, get some more track position. Trescaro this time says, here's a taste of your own medicine. He jumps back in line in the middle and is going to ride here, I imagine, till the pit stop. But Matthew Baker, can't do that. Jumps out from behind Garrett. Baker to the outside. He wants the point. He'll get it very easily here. No fight. Navarro and Wynn have him all the way to the front. He's going to try to drag them with him here all the way down to the front. It's going to get 2 of them clear. And Navarro will stay up. Baker to the bottom to his former teammate Cody Nagels. Navarro now to the middle. And Kyler Wynn will remain stuck up top with Michael Trescaro. Big hit coming here from Cody Nagels for Matthew Baker. Mains gets turned out of line by John Mullahan. Jason Mains holds it on the apron, holds it straight. Now Andrew Navarro to the point. Trying to defend his championship from last season. Has yet to go to victory lane this season, which is something we saw him do multiple times last season. Good night to start would be tonight if he could start to pick that momentum back up from his championship run last season. Pit stops, and this is most of the field up front. We'll recap exactly who it is once we figure out if everybody get on clean. 4 wide back there around Nagels and York. They make some contact, but everybody seems to be on okay. All right, this group, Mains, Navarro, Nagels, Math, Baker, York, Merck, Chris McCullough, John Mullahan, Jason Mains, J.R. Miller, Mike Davenport, Jared Haynes, Mark Von Dell, Brock Westmoreland, Kenny McCullough, Tucker McClendon, and Nash Brambilla. It leaves 6 cars on the racetrack, and they are the following: Joe Huerta, Kyler Wynn, Michael Trescaro, William Schwindenhammer, Trevor Osbornoff, and Dylan Jones. It'll be 4 laps to go in stage number 1. Again, so glad you've joined me here on a Tuesday night. It's fast and furious action so far. And now these 6 will pit. Triscaro and Huerta and Wynn leading them down onto the pit lane. Kyler Wynn very hot on entry. So is Triscaro. Oh, man, William Schwindenhammer. That might be a pit speeding penalty, and that would be a big one for the driver of the 17. If it's a penalty, he's going to be really lucky that a caution flag's about to come out here at the stage if that's a penalty, because that could be a race ender if this was stage 2. Luckily for him, stage 1 will probably allow him to stay on the lead lap. Pit stops ending as the field comes off of turn number 2. It's a couple of groups here that pit on the first round. Then that second group is way separated. And a couple of penalties here to recap for you. William Schwindenhammer and Michael Triscaro have both induced penalties on pit road. Luckily for them, they should be able to stay on the lead lap. They are still well in front of the leaders. And man, a hornet's nest back there. Logan York, Chris McCullough, Kyler Wynn, Joe Huerta, Brock Westmoreland, Mark Vondell. Cody tries to block Baker to the apron. Wow, he almost blocked him into the Geico paint down there on the apron of the racetrack. He's still running him all the way down. Navarro up, Cody down. Big hit coming for Garrett Maines on entry. Look at what the stage win means for these guys. Garrett Maines, he can pick up a few points, but Matthew Baker still in the picture for stage points. It's not going to pick him up much. He's got to hope Baker falls out of the picture for stage points and he gets the max of 5, and he'll pull that gap to 21 points, which is plenty with a 26-car field to potentially steal away the regular season title. Top side, it's 2 McCullough teammates. Chris McCullough, John Mullahan, top of the racetrack. Maines, bottom to middle, allows Cody Nagels and Matthew Baker to forge on through. 2 laps to go in the stage when they get back. Nagels now bottom to middle. Baker will lead the bottom. It'll be York, Westmoreland, and Huerta in tow. The middle lane packed up tightly, 6 cars deep. Jason Maines taking a peek out of line, but that third lane is yet to get going. 2 laps to go, stage 1. Jimmy Emos up ahead and is out of the way and up against the outside wall. Maines will now once again lead the middle as Baker reels again back to the back bumper of Cody Nagels and pushes him off turn number 2. The field exits the banking. A lap and a half to go till the stage break. Garrett Maines pulls even now with Cody Nagels down the backstretch. They start to jump out. Miller goes 3 wide, looked 4 for a second. Jason Maines is out of line as well. Garrett and Navarro don't have a ton of help. Now it starts to come back to him. Kyler Wynn, 4th in line now as Nagels goes bottom to middle. It's Baker on the bottom with Logan York and Brock Westmoreland. Top lane is faded out. It's going to be likely 2 lanes all the way here to the stage, effectively stage white flag, I guess you could call it. And no, it will not. Here come Kyler Wynn, Dylan Jones, Jeff Merck jumping out of line. One more time around Talladega, and this is going to get dicey. Cody Nagels leads, but they're going to have to squeeze 4 wide here in 1 and 2. Wynn and Jones make it work. They go right down to the door, Garrett Maines, and they're going to stay down there tight, side drafting. 3 lanes of cars and 2 lanes of racetrack. Off turn number 2, no help up top. Still Maines, Nagels, and Wynn for the stage win. Off the end of the Alabama Gang super stretch. Garrett Maines pulls ahead. Now Huerta and Osborne out dive out of line. Do they parachute the middle? They do just a little. Nagels back to the inside. He will now lead the field to the banking of turns 3 and 4 and look to secure a stage win. Matthew Baker trying to push himself clear. Can he get up in front of Cody Nagels? He's going to squeeze to his inside. Sticks 2 tires on the yellow. Cody blocks him down to the apron. They're still blocking, and I'll tell you what that's going to do. That's going to allow Garrett Maines to steal the stage win and pull the gap to 21. Wow. What a turn of events there at the end of stage number 1 with Garrett Maines winning the stage and Matthew Baker finishing outside of the top 5. Garrett Maines has suddenly pulled this to a 21-point advantage for Matthew Baker and has made it just a little bit easier on himself. He can now win the regular season title on points depending on his finishing position here tonight. He's going to have to hope Baker hits some bad luck. What a stage of racing. What a last couple laps. So, We're going to go back in just a moment because I want to show you. I want to show you exactly, how this stage ended and how this did not work in the favor of Matthew Baker. And, the driver of the 5's not going to be too happy about this. I'm not really sure how they get disconnected here off turn number 4. So we'll go to TV follow cam here. Watch Baker in the 5 and Cody Nagels in the 6. Is it a push that shoots Cody up the track? Maybe Baker squeezes the nose in. Let's see here. Cody's definitely rolling up there. I know he's getting pushed. And yeah, Baker, wow, throws the nose in on the inside trying to get the stage win. Not sure if he was getting hit from Logan York or not, but that completely disorganizes that bottom lane. And look at the middle. They never come apart. Navarro pushes right on the back of Garrett Maines. Kyler Wynn at the last second dives out of line and goes to the safer barrier. And watch how far Baker free falls here in the trial. Well, he goes from potentially finishing first or second in the stage to not even getting a single stage point. And Garrett Maines instead cashes in and completely flips that stage on Matthew Baker and has now set himself up to potentially win the regular season title on points should Matthew Baker hit some bad luck later in the night. So keep an eye on that. I actually want to go back one more time because I wanted to check points real quick, see who finished where in this stage. I don't think anybody consequential got any major stage points here. Dylan Jones did, but he's not close to the cut line. Navarro boosts his gap to the cut line up to about 40 points now. So, man, oh boy. Well, an eventful stage 1, and I can't imagine a very happy driver of the number 5. I certainly, I certainly wouldn't be happy if I were him. Because the driver in front of you, not going to name names, but the driver in front of you did just cost you some stage points. So, if I was behind the wheel of the 5, I'd certainly be a little bit upset because now you've opened the door for Garrett Maines to potentially steal away a regular season title that Matthew Baker's had the regular season points lead for, essentially the whole season. He opened the season with a win and really has not given up the points lead all season long. He's been atop the standings just about every week we've come to the racetrack, and now the door is wide open here for Garrett Maines to potentially steal it away at the dying moments. So we'll have about 35 laps to find out what's going to happen there. If this race reaches pit strategy, there's a decent chance, knock on wood, that it goes green all the way to the end, and then potentially we're not really talking about that. So as the night goes on, keep an eye on both the 1, the MCU body Ford Mustang of Garrett Maines, as well as the 5 of Matthew Baker further back in the field, currently scored back in the 22nd position. Kenny McCullough will pit a second time, turn the lead over to Jeff Merck. And we are set for what should be an eventful second stage. If somebody wants to come and completely throw the point standings for a loop, they can do so now. And I'll give you a rundown here really quickly as to who that could be, who the drivers are that would be eligible to make the playoffs based on a win. So let's go through those now. While we're getting ready to go back green, let's see if we can figure out exactly who the drivers are out around the cut line that could really throw this thing for a loop. Here are the drivers that if they won tonight that are outside the playoffs could really throw this thing out of whack. William Schwinenhammer, Mark Von Dell. I don't think David Sheets is in the field tonight. John Mullahan, Tucker McClendon, Jimmy Emos are all drivers that could win and knock out. As of right now, it would be Mike Davenport. Actually, I think it would be Nash Brambilla that ended up out. It would be Nash Brambilla. So Nash Brambilla currently sits on the cut line as they run on the racing surface right now. He's scored 23rd. His teammate Mike Davenport is 10 spots in front of him in 13th. So it would be Brambilla that would be eliminated. If a driver were to win their way in, it would be Nash Brambilla that would be eliminated from the playoffs on the last moment of the season. All right. Stage 1 is done and over with. Stage 2 about to get underway. Jeff Merck, Garrett Maines, Sean Mullahan, Andrew Navarro, and Cody Nagels, your top 5. Rest of the top 10, Dylan Jones, Mark Math, Chris McCullough, Joe Huerta, and Jason Maines. And J.R. Miller. Not J.R. Miller, he's 11th. To get back into this one and take the regular season title that he has held on to for almost every week this season. Man, Garrett Maines was wicked loose in the middle of 1 and 2. That was almost his chances up in smoke. Goodness, that was a close call. Jeff Merck, bottom of the middle. John Mullahan, he wants to win, and he'll go to the point for the first time in 3 and 4. Can the driver from McCullough Motorsports throw the playoff circuit for a loop on the final day of the regular season? Jeff Merck going to win his second race of the year, potentially make a leapfrog in points here at the dying hours. Outside, Jason Maines looking to put his name in victory lane. Kyler Wynn, he's not going to make the playoffs, but certainly would like to get a victory. And Chris McCullough, not a ton to sweat here in this second stage, so he's going to go for it as well. Jason Maines to the outside. He wants the lead, going for back-to-back playoff appearances, and actually made the run all the way to the Final Four last season, did Jason Maines. He's looking to get back there again. Middle lane surges once again. Jeff Merck and Garrett Maines surge all the way clear of Mullahan. They're both going to be clear. It's a game of chicken down here in a 3. Merck takes it. Garrett Maines stays up. So Garrett Maines will go right back to the point again with Matthew Baker currently scored. Back in the 21st position. Now here's the problem. I don't think this would be enough. It would be enough, actually. If Garrett Maines won, Matthew Baker being 21 points behind. With Garrett 21 points behind, there's a 5-point boost from first to second. If Garrett wins the race, it's only a 16-point gap. So Baker would only have to finish 16th or better. Or excuse me, I think 17th or better, because I believe he would get the tiebreaker. Actually, no. I'm way off. He would have to finish 13th or better if Garrett wins the race. He would have to finish, I believe, 18th or better. Or no, excuse me, it'd be 21. He'd have to finish 23rd or better if Garrett does not win the race. And we'll adjust it accordingly. Andrew Navarro to the point. Dylan Jones is up here as well as Kyler Wynn. Couple other drivers trying to come forward. Mark Math, Joe Huerta. Further back, Jason Maines, Kenny McCullough, and guess who? Matthew Baker. He's not wasting any time. He wants to come right back to the front. So he's wasting no time. He's currently about 10 cars deep on the outside. No real incentive for him to drive forward right now. Just has to keep Garrett in his sights. Running right where he is. Garrett would have to win the race in order to capture that championship. Again, if Garrett wins, Baker would have to finish 13th or better. Triscaro, Jason Maines outside. Baker going with him. Maybe I lied about him being a little bit conservative and staying back there for right now. He wants to come up here and match play Garrett, take away any doubt that regular season championship will be going back home to NBG Motorsports. One more time. Garrett Maines, Andrew Navarro continue to lead the way. Kyler Wynn's taking a look to the saver barrier, and now they help. For Garrett, Maines has evaporated. Wynn and Nagels up to the top side against the wall. Navarro to the middle, but still not much help and Nagels has that outside line rolling like a train up along the safer barrier. It's Dylan Jones that pulls to the lead on the inside, and 3x3 for the lead. Next time by the halfway mark. Now Nash Brambilla, he realizes the situation with he and Mike Davenport, and he starts to make his way forward. He's pulled back in front of Davenport in the championship, and now the race is between Davenport and Schwindenhammer, and potentially Mark Vondell, who finds himself right now in the 24th position. Logan York, something happened to the 0-2. He's going a lap down. So not sure what happened on the 0-2. Again, a guy that's locked in, so I wouldn't say there's a ton of worry there, but still, as a competitor, you don't ever want to be a lap down. Triscaro topside with Wynn, Jason Maines, and Nash Brambilla, and they will try to get it rolling up on the outside line of the racetrack. Still Maines and Navarro as they hit the halfway mark, this time by 30 up, 30 to go. Here comes Michael Triscaro up the outside with Kyler Wynn. They got a massive run there, headed for the short chute, headed to turn number 1. Brock Westmoreland does not like what he sees. He's going to drop out and drop a little bit further back in this group to play it a little bit safe. Triscaro to the point. He goes all the way to the lead, climbing the banking in turns 3 and 4. Kyler Wynn trying desperately to get clear of the middle lane, but not going to happen. Now Triscaro Maines elbow to elbow. Will the third lane be able to regroup? I'm not sure. Jason Maines, I don't know if he'll have the temps to keep that top lane competitive. Oh, but right as I say that, Wynn grabs the right rear quarter panel and again makes it a 3x3 race. 2 pit stops remain. Anticipate the first to be somewhere around 20 laps to go. The second, or excuse me, a little bit before 20 laps to go. It'll be closer to about 25 laps to go, maybe 23 laps to go. The second will be inside of 10 laps to go. Navarro to the race lead. Dylan Jones again forges forward, and Garrett Maines now finds himself topside. Long single file line back there from 15th on back. That's Matthew Baker all the way back to Mark Vondell. They find themselves single file. Off turn 4. Trouble! Andrew Navarro gets turned on the bumper of Michael Triscaro. Navarro slides and into the inside wall hard. Goes to 44. He will slide to a stop. He'll come back out on the speedway. And now he will get it back going. No caution. We are going to stay green. Michael Triscaro, some contact, and that splits the field big time. And now we await to see who still has the draft. I believe the only car that's going to end up losing, it's going to be Andrew Navarro when all is said and done. Although Mike Davenport, he's right in the end of draft range. They're going to have to get it going here. Matt Lee trying to push him along, but they're already 1.2 seconds back of the tail end of this group. Now they start to get it going, though, so I believe everybody else from them on back is going to maintain the draft. 3 wide up front. Chris McCullough to the point now. Kyler Wynn topside with Jason Maines. Matthew Baker joins that lane as well. And it's Garrett Maines bottom side with Joe Huerta and Michael Triscaro. John Mullahan is back in the fray. Cody Nagels is still here. William Schwindenhammer and Tucker McClendon, 2 guys that can seriously throw this thing out of whack. 3 drivers that are below the cut line are currently inside the top 12 cars. And you want to talk about spoiling the party. Right now the party would be spoiled for Mike Davenport should one of those guys win. He's currently 15th, a spot behind Nash Brambilla. Field coming to complete lap 34. It'll be 26 laps to go, and now we can settle down at least for a moment. Navarro comes off pit road. He'll be a lap down as well. Actually, he's not on pit road yet. That was somebody else. Might have been Jimmy Emos. Cody Nagels topside. He jumps in front of Kyler Wynn. It allows the bottom to surge and Chris McCullough to go bottom to middle, and now Garrett Maines to once again lead the bottom side. Up to side draft was Chris McCullough trying to hold that top lane at bay. And they'll be able to, at least for the moment. It's Garrett Maines that goes back to the lead in 3 and 4. Off turn 4 comes the field once again. Garrett Maines leads the way. Cody Nagels topside with Kyler Wynn. Joe Huerta for KSR wants to take his first run out front. And he will take his car to the point as they enter the banking of turn number 3. Another car's lost the draft, Trevor Oswornoth. Not sure what happened to the 89, but he has lost the draft to the lead pack as well. Still 3 wide up front. Still Maines in the middle with Chris McCullough leading the way. It's Huerta, Triscaro on the bottom, and now Nagels, Wynn, and Maines start to fade just a tad to the outside on the safer barrier. They're already 4 rows back. Maines hooks it left down in front of Joe Huerta. 24 laps remain in the regular season of Tuesday Night Thunder. A pit stop is approaching rapidly here, the second of potentially 3 total on the night. And I don't know about anybody else. I don't know if that's cloud cover. I think it is, actually. That was playing tricks on me in 1 and 2. I was like, oh boy, I think the sun's going down. But does not appear to be. Outside rolling once again. Matthew Baker took his car to the top side in front of Cody Nagels, which is an interesting partnership when you consider what happened at the end of stage number 1. And Andrew Navarro now officially will go a lap down. But Baker will surge all the way to the lead. From 24th back to the point. Matthew Baker, the points leader, has matched Garrett Maines move for move, stride for stride at this point in the night. And he does so yet again. Wow, aggressive block. Baker blocks McCullough out of the yellow, and Cody Nagels aggressively clears to the middle. Through the banking of turns 1 and 2, does Chris McCullough jump right back out of line? Nope, not going to have the opportunity. Cody Nagels, with the help of John Mullahan, is to the outside. Jeff Merck is there as well. Kyler Wynn now by his lonesome up top. Jason Maines fades into the middle. And I believe we are about to have some pit stops. Guys are starting to bail to the bottom. Let's go to the wide camera so you can see everything here as they come off turn 4. Does the field come to pit road? No, they stay on the racing surface. Nagels, Mullahan, really the only 2 up here in contention on the top side. Matt Lee and Dylan Jones are up there further back, but they're about 9 rows deep. Nagels will go up and around. He's going to have to go find a spot in line to try to get on pit road. Mullahan might have some help coming in the form of Lee and Dylan Jones, but I imagine those 2 will start to find a spot as well. Jones down in front of Jason Maines. Nagels trying to fade in as well. Not going to happen. Lee stretches it out 3 wide as Mullahan continues to try to find a spot in line. Off turn 4 again. Again, we'll go to the wide camera, and here we go. Pit stop's underway, and how many cars is this going to bring to pit road? It's everybody coming to pit road. The whole field is on pit road at one. Entire lead draft of 22 cars deep comes to pit road with 22 to go. We'll await them off pit road. You see Navarro, he's a lap down. And they're going to go 2 wide, and it's the 2 points leaders. Garrett Maines backs out of that really quick. And the second to last pit stop is complete. We'll look back through the field, see if anybody's going to lose the draft on this. Don't believe so. And now 1 pit stop remains. And now the question is, when do you make it? Do you cut the run in half? Do you shorten it? Do you short it a little bit? Or do you run it all the way out? That run was about 14, 15 green flag laps. We expect that pit stop then to be inside of 10 to go, likely within the last 6 laps of the race. And as we start looking for drivers that could turn this whole thing upside down, John Mullahan runs 9th after that pit stop. Tucker McClendon runs 16th. William Schwindenhammer's all the way back in 20th. So And Mark Mondell is 22nd. So all those four drivers that could really turn this thing upside down, that are in striking distance and have the amount of races that they need to make the run into the playoffs, are well back in the field right now, besides John Mullihan, who scored in the 8th spot. Nagels tries to go topside all by his lonesome, but not for long. Kyler Wynn going to jump out and help. So too is Dylan Jones, as Garrett Maines goes back to the point off turn number 4. Again, if this race were to end right now, Garrett, there's nothing he can do if Matthew Baker finishes right there. Matthew Baker will be a regular season champion. Oh, trouble between the 2 points leaders. Trouble out back. Jeff Merckx going to bring out the yellow flag for the first time tonight as he goes spinning to the apron. And it was almost trouble between the 2 points leaders. What in the world happened here? Caught me off guard. I didn't even see it start. It happened so fast. Let's see here. Was it a push from behind? Was it something that started up on the bottom? Let's see. Oh, it's a push from behind. You see Chris McCulley shoots Garrett at the track there as he tries to reset. Hooks him to his left. Maines comes down, gets into Baker, and this is where I thought it was going to be calamity for the drivers at the front. And as they start to stack up, Jeff Merck gets clipped by John Mullihan. Kyler Wynn gets involved. So too does Dylan Jones. And those 3 cars come away from this incident with some damage. Try to take another look here. So watch right here. Chris McCullough in behind Garrett Maines. And right here as he tries to reset, it's the classic Xfinity car bumper hook. He gets Garrett sideways. Garrett was able to kind of stall the car in the spin for a moment. Matthew Baker able to somehow hold on as well. And then you see Merck go around back there off the bumper of John Mullihan. And he's going to get the worst of this one. Loses the back bumper. I think Kyler Wynn lost one as well. Wow, even further back. Mark Math got into Tucker McClendon. And that's one of the drivers we were watching is McClendon. And he gets sent to the outside retaining wall as well. So a tough break for Tucker. We'll have to see how much damage he has on his machine. Let's try the fan cam here. How about spotter cam? That might be a little bit better. You're going to see this push right off the right side of your screen, right there. They get together, and then you see right there's the contact between Merck and Mullihan. And on it, it's on from there for Jeff Merck, Kyler Wynn, and Dylan Jones. And then watch, bottom of your screen coming to the line, right there's the contact between Mark Math and Tucker McClendon as Tucker got on the brakes trying to miss the incident. Got clipped from behind by the 199. And he got sent up into the outside wall. Let's check the damage on the 27. Boy, do we have a strategy call here. William Schwindenhammer stays out and leads a lap. So at the very least, that's going to put him 9 points back at the cut line now of Mike Davenport. Actually, excuse me, the cut line's actually now Nash Brambilla. He was 11 points back of Nash Brambilla coming into tonight. As of right now, right this second, Schwindenhammer would be in, so too would Davenport, and Brambilla would be out. If they were to finish like they are right now. So we'll see if he pits right here, if that was a strategic call to lead a lap, or if perhaps he's going to try to stretch the fuel tank and lay his season on the line on the gamble of the fuel tank. I imagine he just probably rolled through his box, perhaps, trying to lead a lap. He'll just roll all the way down pit road. Now he'll pit here this time by. We'll see as the field rolls down off turn number 4. And let's see. These guys are all coming back, and no, he's going to stay out. Wow. All right. I mean, if he gets a couple of cautions, it's not necessarily out of the realm of possibility that he could stretch it an extra few laps. And the field had just come to pit road, so we'll wait and see on that. But William Schwindenhammer, he's laying it on the line. He's gambling here tonight, and several other guys are going to gamble with him. Garrett Maines, Cody Nagels, John Mullahan, Joe Huerta, Matt Lee, Mark Math. Now, they have about 4 laps more of fuel than Schwindenhammer does, but they did not pit the second time by. Everybody from Michael Triscaro on back did come to pit road under the second caution flag of the night. It's about to get interesting with this guy running up front because Schwindenhammer is the guy that could win and completely flip the playoffs on its head. And so we're going to get this race restarted. The final quarter of the regular season finale, the final 15 laps of a 12-race regular season has seen it all. And now William Schwindenhammer trying to give us one more incredible moment. John Mullahan would like to do so as well. Further back, Mark Mondell runs in the 18th spot, and Tucker McClendon runs in 19th. Let's get a check on the 27. Looks to be all clean and all ready to go to try to get his name in the playoffs. Wild one coming up. A lot of twists and turns ahead. A pit stop remains at Talladega Superspeedway. We imagine maybe not for the guys that just came to pit road on that second pace lap with coming to 1 to go. They might, and I mean might, just be all right. It's going to be really razor thin close. We'll keep an eye on their fuel gauges here. They're only going to need to save about a lap, maybe 2, under this green flag run, and they can then race it out, push the pace, and potentially pace out our top, 6, 7, 8, 6 or 7 cars. Here we go. 15 to go, and it's William Schwindenhammer that leads the way. Green flag is in the air, and boy, what a jump he got. Well, the problem is it may have been a little bit too good. That would have been a great jump on any track not named Talladega Superspeedway. And unfortunately, it has evaporated his help on the bottom, and it will completely evaporate his help on the bottom. So much for that. Schwindenhammer, too good a jump. And we'll get relegated here, oh man, probably 9, 10 rows deep. They're going to all freight train around him. Garrett Maines back to the lead. He brings Joe Huerta along with him. Cody Nagels is now 3rd, and John Mullahan is the guy to watch in 4th. Potential to steal away a victory tonight, lock himself in the playoffs, and really, again, throw this thing for a loop, eliminate one of the Team PGR drivers down around the cut line. Maines tried to block Cody Nagels. Mullahan went with Maines. Lee goes with Nagels topside. Bottom side, Huerta, Schwindenhammer, that was a miracle for him. He's going to be able to stay pretty close to the front. And now, don't look now, Tucker McClendon has made his way forward, and all of a sudden, we got 3 drivers inside the top 10 that could all win and shake up the playoffs. Big moment for Joe Huerta, but they get it sorted out. Mark Math trying to get off the bottom. Oh, man, almost some contact with Cody Nagels. Garrett Maines back topside. New leader at Talladega. It's John Mullahan looking for the biggest win of his season. Michael Triscaro jumps topside with Nagels. Nagels bails back to the middle in front of Garrett Maines. Matt Lee, Triscaro topside. Now Nagels going to go right back up. Going to pick up the driver of the 34. Oh, now he sits back down in line and blinks. A big blink for Cody Nagels. Luckily, everybody no harm, no foul. Does Matthew Baker go up there maybe? Now Garrett Maines back to the middle. It's Mullahan, Math, Huerta, and Schwindenhammer, the top 4. 14, make it 13 laps to go at Talladega. Remember, the guys who did not pit the second time around on that caution are going to be awfully close. We believe William Schwindenhammer to be a little bit short. Topside still Triscaro and Matt Lee. Dylan Jones coming to the rescue, but now Matt Lee is going to dive out. But as soon as he does, Nagels hops back out topside. And now do they start to lean out there again? Nagels even with Garrett Maines. They need one more car, potentially two, to go up there. Mullahan goes to the middle. And now Mark Math will lead the way through turns 3 and 4. Bunch of guys trading the lead back and forth. Baker and I believe that might be Kenny McCullum, either him or Mike Davenport. It's Mike Davenport, excuse me, as Kenny actually comes to pit road. So now Nagels, Triscaro, Baker, Davenport, the top 4 on the top side, and they're rolling. Garrett Maines, Chris McCullum, Matt Lee roll in the middle. Bottom side still Mullahan, Mark Math, Joe Huerta, and William Schwindenhammer. Again, we don't know yet who's close on fuel, who's short on fuel. All we know is these guys are racing like they're all good on fuel, and that it's time to go right now. Maines up to side draft down the super stretch. It'll be Garrett Maines who goes back to the point. Cody Nagels to his left elbow. He'll get clear of his teammate and drop down on his nose. Man, that was a tight move. Maines back up on Cody's nose. Trouble in the back. It's Schwindenhammer. William Schwindenhammer going for a spin through the grass. Did he hold on to that car? There's no way. There's no way. Let's go back. It was William Schwindenhammer that wrecked. No way he holds on to this car. You see they start to jockey. Oh, man, Davenport's coming down. William Schwindenhammer's coming up. He gets into Davenport, gets loose on old tires. Gets across J.R. Miller. He gets clipped. And does he have some help saving this car, or does he just bring it back straight? Oh, man, Tucker McClendon, more damage. I think he's going to actually get some help. Well, maybe a tiny bit of help there from Jason Maines, but it could have been a lot worse for the driver of the 17. Let's try to figure out the extent of this incident. You see Schwindenhammer and J.R. Miller get together right there. You're going to see J.R. come back up and kind of tail whip Tucker McClendon, who's then going to find the outside wall and lose the rear bumper. Jared Haynes, Trevor Oswernoth come together, but no harm, no foul there, like tap. And a slide for the 89. Then Maines and Schwindenhammer come together as well. One more look at it here. Man, that could have been a lot bigger for several drivers. Luckily, they were able to avoid really incredibly major damage and escape there, and Schwindenhammer's hopes are still alive for now. Bunch of guys on pit road that time by. They were led on by, I believe, back there around, I'm not really actually sure. But several guys here at the front have stayed out and now are risking it as well on their fuel gauge. Now, that caution should allow them to save enough to make it all the way to the end of tonight's race, but with overtimes potentially making their presence felt here tonight, that may throw a wrench in it as well. 3 green-white checkers available to us tonight if we need them. And if these guys at the front that did not pit are going to be probably out of luck should this race go into a couple of overtime scenarios. We'll keep an eye on them. Again, the fuel strategy coming down to it here. But we'll focus on our focus drivers now. John Mullahan is scored in 4th position. Looking to win his way into the playoffs tonight. Next best out of those drivers is, I believe, Mark Von Dell down there in 16th. And William Schwindenhammer and Tucker McClendon sit on pit road still, repairing damage. 1 to go signal this time by the lights are out atop the iRacing pace car. And it will mean 1 to go. 8 laps remain in Tuesday Night Thunder regular season finale here in Season 4. And let's re-rack the field for you. Row 1, Garrett Maines still not far enough ahead of Matthew Baker, even with a win to win the regular season championship. To his outside, Chris McCullough in the 94, looking to close out his regular season strong. Row 2, Cody Nagels trying to win again here tonight, play some spoiler. And John Mullihan could throw the entire playoff field for a loop with a win here tonight. He runs 4th. Row 3, Matt Lee's locked in. He's looking to add a 3rd win to his season tonight, become the only other guy than Matthew Baker with 3 wins. And Mark Math is 6th. He's looking to pull off a big win for him. He's yet to find that statement win tonight. Could be the night. Row 4, Michael Triscaro in the 34. He's 70-plus points above the cut line, looking to end his season strong as well. And Dylan Jones is 8th. Row 5's the points leader, Matthew Baker, and the 1 of Joe Huerta. Mike Davenport, Nash Brambilla, the 2 drivers to watch, as well as Schwindenhammer, Vondell, Mullihan, and McClendon. We'll update you real quick on where those guys are. Davenport is 11th. Vondell is 16th. Brambilla is 17th. McClendon is 21st. Schwindenhammer is 22nd. And, of course, Mullihan runs in position number 4. Here we go. 8 laps to go in Tuesday Night Thunder's regular season finale. Thank you so much for coming out. As this race nears its conclusion, myself, Austin, want to thank you guys for coming out all season long. It's been so much fun to get to cover these races for you as we get ready to turn the page to the playoffs. Into the restart zone for potentially the final time tonight. 8 laps to go at Talladega, and the green flag once again flies over the field. And off they go towards turn 1. McCullough Motorsports teammates topside, Chris McCullough and John Mullihan. Inside, it's Garrett Maines, Cody Nagels, and his teammate Matt Lee. The field rolling 2 by 2 in formation here off turn number 2 and onto the Alabama Gang Super Stretch for the first time. Does anybody step it out 3 wide here early? No, not yet. Oh, John Mullihan, almost some tunnel vision there for the 2 car. He almost followed Chris McCullough down into Garrett Maines, but everybody keeps it straight. Through 3 and 4, Chris McCullough leads onto the front stretch once again, but here comes the surge from John Mullihan. Can he get to the race lead? What a win this would be for Mullihan to shake up the point standings. With these 2 running, with John Mullihan running up front, we're going to tune back to the battle happening back around the 13th position between Mike Davenport and Nash Brambilla, the PGR teammates. Davenport currently is now 5th on the bottom. Brambilla is about 9 cars deep at the top. Mullihan gets turned. Mullihan into the outside wall a ton. Mark Math as well. And did the night just go up in smoke for John Mullihan? Oh, no. The fairy tale ending for John Mullihan is up in smoke on the backstretch at Talladega. A bad push got Mullihan out of shape, and he's limping back towards pit road. Oh, man. The toughest of tough breaks. 6 laps to go now at the front. Down the backstretch once again, Garrett Maines back to the point. With Cody Nagels to his inside. Nagels will go back to the lead off the bumper of his teammate Matt Lee, one of the most formidable pushers in the field. And now only 3 cars on the bottom. It's Lee, Triscaro, and Davenport who needs to be in that position right now because Nash Brambilla is losing ground to the lead draft. With no fast repair tonight, that's likely the end of the season, at least in terms of points racing for John Mullihan. Nagels to the point. 5 laps to go. We imagine now that these guys are awfully close on gas. Will the fuel gauge make it all the way? Again, if Garrett Maines and Matthew Baker finish where they currently are, it's not nearly enough. Matthew Baker would still win the regular season championship. We're almost to a point now where Garrett's going to have to win the race just because of how many cars are left in this lead draft. Only 18 make up the lead draft for the lead. Here comes Matt Lee. Garrett Maines in behind him. Triscaro trying to get up and side draft a little bit as he pushes on Cody Nagels, but it's not going to be enough. Matt Lee surges to the lead. It'll be 4 more circuits around Talladega. Matthew Baker's trying to make a run to the front, but nobody's going with him. Watch out, KSR teammates lined up. Joe Huerta and Trevor Osborne out there 8th and 10th on the speedway right now. They could play a factor in this finish as well. And they might draw Matthew Baker with him unless Baker goes first. And he jumps out off turn number 2. Osborne out trying to take his nose away but can't do so. Matt Lee's all over the place getting pushed by Garrett Maines. Maines has to back out. Dylan Jones to the top side. He gets in front of Baker. And now the top lane begins to form up against the safer barrier. This is the race for the win in the finale of Tuesday Night Thunder. Are any of our guys lower in points close to the front? I don't see any of them. Mullahan, obviously, we already said is out. Von Dell is currently back around the 18th position, so not really a factor at this point in the race. And Tucker McClendon is not even with the lead draft. Neither is William Schwindenhammer. Through 1 and 2 once again, 3 more times around. Remember, if the leader makes it to the white flag, the race is over. It's official. Outside going to be the place to be. It's going to roll, and it's going to roll in a big way. Here comes Dylan Jones in the 11 to the outside of Cody Nagels. It'll be Nagels that gets clear, I imagine, into 3. It might allow Dylan Jones, though, to also jump down in line. It could allow Matthew Baker as well. Not quite. Baker stuck. Dylan Jones top to bottom. He now takes the point in the all-white 11 car. Triscaro pushing for all he's worth. He's got fresh temps. He's washing up a little bit, though. Got to keep it narrowed on the bottom. Still 3 wide. York, Baker, Merck, and company. Does that line have enough temps? Do they have enough underneath the engines? Cody Nagels back to the front. 2 laps to go. Nagels blocks all the way to the wall. Cody Nagels blocks the 3rd lane. That allows Matt Lee to come forward and Dylan Jones to clear up. And now Michael Triscaro with one of his PGR cars behind him. Could he have a look at the victory? He's been close multiple times this season. They got to get that bottom lane rolling if he's going to stay clear of Dylan Jones. They may have done it. Oh, man, big block by Jones across the nose of the 34. But does Michael Triscaro get clear? He's going to get really close here in turns 3 and 4. Does he take a look? You almost have to try it, but it's not quite enough. The push is there in the middle from Garrett Maines to Matt Lee. It's still not really rolling, though. Triscaro, oh, man, he's trying everything he can, but the middle's back to him through the trial. Well, we're going to settle this one right here and right now. White flag, 1 lap to go in Tuesday Night Thunder. Jones inside, Lee, middle, Nagels on the top. Does Baker look 4? Does Triscaro get himself clear? Somebody just blew up. It's Michael Triscaro. Mike Davenport's going to be involved in the wreck. We'll keep an eye on the points. We'll have to watch it in a minute. Brambilla passed him. Nash Brambilla passed him. That could be the pass that keeps him in the playoffs. Lee blocks. Lee goes to the wall. The leaders are going to wreck. Garrett Maines around. Matt Lee around. Cody Nagels. Chris McCullough. Kenny McCullough. Both of them involved. No, Chris is still here at the front. Side by side. Here comes Trevin Osborne. Trevin's got to take a look. If he's going to win the race, he's got to go, and he's got to go quickly. You got to grab the right rear in this car. Off turn 4 for the final time in the regular season. Here they come to the checkers. Matthew Baker, Trevor Osborne out. They're going to drag race. Trevin's going to wait too long. The points leader wins again. Matthew Baker wins at Talladega. His 4th win of the year, and the regular season title goes back to NBG Motorsports as Matthew Baker is in victory lane again. What a finish. The only way we know how, and no overtime needed. And Matthew Baker, by all odds, despite all the adversity tonight, makes it happen. He'll come around, he'll celebrate. We will allow him the opportunity to do so. He wins the race. It's his 4th victory again of the season. And he enters the playoffs on the highest of high notes. 4 wins in 12 starts. A dominant regular season ends the only way that it should, with a victory. We'll allow him to celebrate. And he's burning it down on the front stretch. Matthew Baker wins at Talladega in the regular season finale. So Baker gets the win. We're going to go back. We're going to look at this white flag lap because so much happened on the white flag lap. So we'll go back and try to take a look at all of it. So it's going to start going down here into turn number 1. As Michael Triscaro blows up, pushing Dylan Jones, and Mike Davenport gets collected in the incident, and Nash Brambilla drives back around him. Then it stacks up here as Nagels gets into his teammate, turns him to his right. They collect Garrett Maines. Further back, Mert, Haynes, and Kenny McCullough wreck. Dylan Jones and Mark Vondell as well. Then Matt Lee and Mark Vondell come together. And it was simplification off turn number 4. And watch Trevor right here. I mean, he got close, but no cigar for the 89. He waited just a split second too long to make the move to the outside. There is your margin of victory. We'll get you a little bit better camera here. There's your margin of victory tonight at Talladega. About a bumper for Matthew Baker as he wins tonight at Talladega. We'll go through your finishing results. Stick with us if you want to hear from your top 3 in just a moment. Matthew Baker wins the race and the regular season title. He wins tonight's race in Talladega with Trevor Osborne on 2nd and Logan York rounding out the podium. Chris McCullough finishes 4th, Joe Huerta in 5th, J.R. Miller in 6th, Cody Nagels 7th, Mark Vondell in 8th. It is Nash Brambilla 9th and Dylan Jones finishing in the 10th position. Mike Davenport 11th, Kenny McCullough in 12th, Jeff Mark 13th, Garrett Maines 14th, and Jason Maines in 15th. William Schwindenhammer finishes in 16th, Jared Haynes in 17th. It is Tucker McClendon finishing tonight's race in the 18th position. Matt Lee 19th, Michael Triscaro 20th, Brock Westmoreland 21st, Andrew Navarro 22nd, Jimmy Emos 23rd, Mark Math 24th, John Mullahan 25th, and Kyler Wynn rounds out the field in 26th. Stay with us. We're going to go get your top 3 for some post-race interviews. Stay with us on PGR eSports. We'll be right back for the post-race show. Back live at Talladega Superspeedway. We're going to start into your post-race show. We'll start with the man who finished 3rd in tonight's race. He's going to the playoffs. He's playoff bound with his victory earlier in the season. And we'll start with him tonight. The 3rd place finisher is a 0-2 of Logan York. Logan, it's Dawson in the booth to get a copy.
Yeah, I got you, Dawson.
Chaotic ending to tonight's race. We saw you kind of come to the front, go back to the back, come back to the front. It was a roller coaster night for you. A 3rd place finish, a great way to cap off what was a successful regular season for you. Take me through the ending. What was going through your mind there the last couple laps of that race?
Yeah, the ending was pretty crazy. I was kind of hoping that Baker would, me and Baker would have had a decent run on the 3rd line, but before we were able to generate it, Cody and Lee went up to the 3rd for some odd reason. I don't know what the point of that was. I guess Lee got hot. I don't know. It kind of killed our run, and then that caused the wreck. So yeah, it was pretty crazy, but I stuck it up there and crossed my fingers and made it through it there.
Well, you absolutely did, and you finished in the third position in tonight's race. So, look, like I said, a successful regular season. Saw you get your first Tuesday Night Thunder win, which locked you in the playoffs. So nothing to sweat tonight, but still wanted to finish your season on a high note. You got to change gears now. What's the mindset? What's the game plan for the playoffs starting next week?
Well, Dawson, I always race like it's a championship race, so I'm not going to do anything differently. That's the benefit of racing how I do is I never have to change gears because I'm already thinking, I guess, like I'm in a championship race. Yeah.
Well, it's a very simple approach, a very eyes forward approach. It makes your life easier. So hey, I mean, it works for you. It's worked for you this season, and it worked for you again tonight to a third place finish. Before we let you go and celebrate and start preparing for the playoffs, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, I want to thank Ron for putting this race on. It's pretty fun to do every week. Always something to look forward to on Tuesdays. I want to thank you guys for broadcasting. Well, you, since Austin wanted to cheap out on the air, I guess he got camera shy. Want to thank everyone that watches the races and gives us an audience. Thank everyone that shows up to race and makes the competition feel alive and immersive. And that's it.
All right. Well, thanks for talking to me here for a second. Congratulations on the third place finish. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate. We will see you next week for the playoffs.
Thank you.
Logan York in the 0-2. The third place finisher tonight will come up to the man who came just a little bit short for pretty much the second week in a row. And that's Trevin Osbornoth in the 89. We'll get him in here now. Our second place finisher tonight, it's Trevin Osbornoth. Hey, Trev, it's Dawson in the booth to get a copy.
Yeah, man, what's going on?
Well, not too much. A chaotic end. A lot happened in the last about 1,000 feet of this race. And again, I remember back to what you said last week. You said you wanted to come out and win this race. A little bit short. I know it's disappointing. Take me through what was going through your mind on that last run of the checkers.
It's like my whole life I've been coming up short, man. Holy crap. I told you last week I was going to try to get this thing, and man, so close once again. But yeah, man, it's really chaotic on that last lap. This is where the money is made, and 9 times out of 10, brother, they wreck it on the last lap every single time. And what do you know? They did it again. I just so happened to be, I think, about like on the middle lane of the backstretch, and Baker cleared in front of everybody. Baker was in front of me, and that's kind of where I was gonna go. Then when everything sorted out, I think coming out of 3 and 4, I think I was second on the outside. Saw Logan behind me, JR to the outside, and I was gonna jump high and hope maybe I was gonna get that dub, but I kind of played it a little conservative and waited to the end, maybe a little too late to pass Baker there on the outside, but I did kind of owe him one too. But man, I would have took it away from him if I had the chance. But I was just trying to play it conservative, points racing, baby, and man, that's bittersweet. Once again, bittersweet, baby. I'm gonna get one of these days. But yeah, oh man, that sucks. Great race though.
It was a fun race to watch, a wild one to end the regular season tonight. Well, look, you said it. Points racing was the key tonight. You came in 47 points above the line. Not really much to sweat, per se, in terms of the guys behind you, but you still needed a good run. Just wanted to give yourself the peace of mind. That's what you did here tonight. So you're locked in the playoffs now. You can now look forward. Does the mindset change at all next week? Is there anything you're going to do differently now that next week is playoff racing?
Well, they said the top 8 transfer out from the 16. So right now, I think before the race, I was 8th based off of a stage win that I had. I guess the goal is just to finish up front right now. Right now, we go into points racing, baby. And you guys see in the point standings, there's some heavy hitters up there, man. And I don't know what I'm going to do here, but I got to be consistent. And that's been my downfall all season. I've run up front, got caught up in something, checked up for something, got shuffled to the back, and it's just been inconsistent all season. So consistency is going to be my goal here. Honestly, on the backstretch, I was content with a top 10 because I haven't had one in, I don't know, a couple weeks. So I'll take a second place. But yeah, if you're asking me what I'm gonna do here, honestly, between me and you, man, either I'm gonna go try to win these things, or I'm gonna finish last. I know I said I'm gonna try to points race, but at this point, it's make it or break it. So the goal is to get into the final 8, and then from there, baby, we're gonna rock and roll.
We look forward to it as the playoffs begin next week. Before we let you go, though, after a second place finish, you want to give you a chance really quick. Is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Oh, brother, you know we always got to thank the Jack Shack 230 strokes a minute. We also got to thank the Team KSR. Appreciate you guys. Joe Herda, I also cashed there, ran with him all night. We worked together a little bit here and there. Hey, shout out to him. He was up front a lot of this race, back and forth cycling with the big dogs. Got to shout out you guys, of course. Mean Green and Big Hick up in the booth always. And I got to thank Ron Morris, baby. Like I said, week after week, this is the best you're going to get super speedway racing wise right here every Tuesday night. Ron Morris Racing, baby.
Well, certainly another good one tonight. A great way to cap off the regular season in terms of racing, and for you as well. Second place finish. Trev, congrats. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate. We will talk to you next week for the playoffs.
Appreciate you, brother. Y'all be safe.
Trevin Osbernoth finishes second in tonight's event. That leads us to the man of the hour, who is in victory lane tonight, not only for the race, but for the regular season title as well, and that is Matthew Baker in the 5. Baker, it's Dawson in the booth to get a copy.
What's up, buddy?
Well, look, at one point you found yourself down in 24th. Garrett Maines was leading the race. I got to imagine that was a little bit dicey, but at the end of the day, Rex starts on the backstretch. You pull your way through it. I don't know how you keep doing this, but you're back in victory lane. You're 4th of the season. Take me through a chaotic finish tonight at Talladega.
Yeah, I got kind of nervous on the stage whenever Cody went up about half a lane, and I felt like I got to his inside, and he kept coming down, and I had to bail out and lost the stage points there. So I kept it in the back of my mind. I knew I had to finish 20th or better, so I thought I could get back, save my fuel, come down, double pit, and then just run hard there towards the end. I knew Logan was going to go up front, and he was battling Garrett for second in the points. So we both were going to work together well there on the top side. It was a bummer for Mike, but I didn't understand the move from Cody and Matt to the third lane. It just didn't make any sense. I don't know anyone there that's going to lift. I mean, I wasn't given a chance because Logan's pushing through me, and then I don't give Cody a chance because, how am I supposed to predict Matt coming up out of turn 2 to the third lane when you're leading the middle lane in the white flag? I didn't understand that. Unfortunate that it ended that way, but Trevor gave me a great push to the end, and we got the win.
Well, absolutely, and you also capture the regular season championship tonight, like I said. And look, I know that is obviously, it's an achievement in and of itself, but I also know it comes second to now the new championship. The season resets. It's down to 16 guys that essentially are racing for the big championship now at the end of the playoffs. So now we reset. You're now eyes forward to that championship after you've captured the regular season title. What's the game plan for you to go and capture another Ron Morris Racing Tuesday Night Thunder championship?
Yeah, just finished short last year against Andrew. That was a lot of fun, but didn't have the points cushion that I have going into this one. I've got 4 wins, 2 or 3 probably 2 stage wins, and the regular season championship to lean on. So it's a lot of bonus points to go into the playoff end. So as long as I drive smart, get some top 10s, some top 5s, try and get Mike and Merck up there to contend for wins for the round of 8. I think we have a good shot to get at least two out of the 4 in the round of 4 for the championship. So I'm gonna be the team player and try and push them when I can, when I'm not up front, and really try and get out there and get after it and have another fun playoff run. This league is just unbelievable. The racing from the drop of the green flag to the finish is just crazy. Huge saves, big wrecks whenever they happen, when mistakes happen, but the mistakes are rare here, and it's so much fun to run this league.
It's been a lot of fun for us to watch as well. Well, the regular season comes to an end, and you're the lone man atop the point standings. So before we let you go, celebrate the regular season championship and the victory in tonight's race. Is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, just thanks to Coasting Thunder, MBG Motorsports, Baker & Son Construction, Merck and Mike always sticking me through this entire season. We capped off the first race of the year with a 1-2-3 finish. Hopefully we can get a 1-2-3 finish to start off the playoffs. Thanks to family watching back at home, and thanks to you for putting on the broadcast. It's always fun to watch one of the best announcers out here, and thanks to Ron for adminning and just being one of the best league owners that you could possibly ask for. This is, you'd think it'd get boring and there'd be like a stalemate of, super speedway leagues, that it would just get boring, but we just have everyone's competitive nature in this league is just on 10 at all times, and it is so much fun, and this Xfinity car exacerbates it for sure.
Well, it's definitely a lot of fun for us to watch as well. Congratulations on the victory. Congratulations on the regular season championship. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you, brother.
Matthew Baker in the 5, your winner tonight from Talladega Superspeedway. All right. Before we go, a couple of quick things. Number one, the playoff field. We want to reset it for you before we leave tonight. We want to tell you who the 16 drivers are battling for a championship starting next week here in Tuesday Night Thunder. Obviously, Matthew Baker, he's in by virtue of 4 wins this season. Garrett Maines, he's in by virtue of a win. Matt Lee is in as well with virtue of 2 wins. And then the last 3 winners, Jeff Merck is locked in, J.R. Miller is locked in, and Logan York is locked in. Here are the drivers locked in on points to round out the top 16. Chris McCullough in the 94, Michael Triscaro in the 34, Brock Westmoreland in the 4 car, Jason Maines in the 12, Kenny McCullough in the 03, Trevin Osmernoth in the 89, Jared Haynes in the 7, Andrew Navarro in the 44, Nash Brambilla in the 23, and Mike Davenport in the 55. That'll be the 16 set to battle for a championship starting next week back, I believe, at Talladega. That's going to be next Tuesday night. Again, playoff racing begins. We have 2 races in the round of 16, 2 races in the round of 8, and then our championship event to crown our champion for this series. So that's the 16 drivers again really quickly. Baker, Garrett Maines, Lee, Merck, Miller, York, Chris McCullough, Triscaro, Westmoreland, Jason Maines, Kenny McCullough, Oswernoth, Haynes, Navarro, Brambilla, and Davenport. That is the final 16 in the Tuesday Night Thunder series. Some programming notes for you for the remainder of this week. This Thursday night is the PGR eSports Intimidator Super Speedway Series. I'm not sure the information for Thursday is out quite yet. I know it's going to be out at some point today. It is not out yet. I said last night that it was going to be the team draft event. It is not. The team draft event has been postponed until further notice. So for now, keep it on hold. Be back here Thursday night. We will have racing. Just unsure at this point what it will be. I believe it will still be the trucks at Talladega, but it just will not be in the team draft format. Friday night, Super Speedway Kings once again returns to the track with the Butler Family 133 here on PGR eSports with, I believe it's going to be Michael Triscaro on the call there, I think. Don't quote me on that, but it should be Michael Triscaro on the call on Friday night. Might be me on the call on Friday night, actually, now that I think about it. So be back for Super Speedway Kings. Me and Mike. Maybe Mike and I will call that race together on Friday night for the Butler Family 133. Next Monday, the Little Guys Series returns to PGR eSports as well, as the Little Guys Series has 3 weeks remaining, 2 regular season races, and then the championship event for that series as well. I'll be back on track for that. Mike and Baker will have you for that race on Monday. And then playoff racing returns to the Tuesday Night Thunder next Tuesday night. Right back here at 10:15 on PGR eSports. We'll have all the action for you as the playoffs get underway. The races now mean more for 16 guys in the field. Matthew Baker wins the regular season title here tonight with a victory at Talladega, his 4th of the year, and an incredible season continues on into the playoffs. The regular season is over. The playoffs start now. Who will be the 4th champion of Ron Morris Racing's Tuesday Night Thunder? We'll find out starting next week here on PGR eSports. My name's Dawson Wise. You've been watching Tuesday Night Thunder on PGR eSports Network, and until next time, good night.